you have all these things, and there's been other things that have been done on the economy as well. But I do think that this sets us up for a Trump boom in the future.
But I want crypto because a lot of people, millions of people want it. I don't know if you know that Biden went after it violently, and then before the election, he changed his tune entirely.
What happens with Bitcoin as an asset? Today, it is 60% of crypto's value is Bitcoin. So what happens with in an era where you have large-scale asset tokenization takes place? What is the role of Bitcoin?
The CEO, Franklin Saul, and the board had foresight that, hey, this is a disruptive technology that can fundamentally change the way we do business.
Ripple's a good example, right? XRP is obviously an insanely overvalued asset at 100 and some billion market cap or whatever it is now. But that doesn't, because there is no financial value, there is no utility value, it's 100% just social value.
They try to shake me out, but I was born ready. Dropping down the price, then I be getting plenty. They want all your bags and they want all them empty.
What's up, good bitches? If you got a baggie, welcome to the party. Welcome back to some more Moon o'clock news. No breakfast, no coffee, just straight extra full listeners. Shout out to the latest sub. Appreciate you stopping by, tuning in. Don't forget to drop an elbow from the top ropes on that likey button. We got XRP down to around $2.12. We got one from Ripple to pop things off. The start of 2025 saw major momentum for Ripple, XRP, and the broader crypto industry. The Q1 2025 XRP markets report is here. Highlights include SEC and Ripple reached an agreement to end the lawsuit. Hidden Road acquired for $1.25 billion to scale the XRP ledger and RLUSD adoption. Institutional demand rises for XRP-based investment products. U.S. policy shift signals more clarity, more opportunity. Started in Q2, the XRP markets report is evolving. We will continue to be transparent and share relevant updates on Ripple and XRP related announcements through the official channels, including Ripple, RippleXDev, and maintain public access to our XRP holdings on ripple.com. Subject views. This is a small fraction of what it takes. The DTCC is just one of the many CSDs globally. They are the record keeper for quadrillions of dollars of transactions and are currently working towards tokenizing approximately $100 trillion of assets.
The CEO, Franklin Saul, and the board had foresight that, hey, this is a disruptive technology that can fundamentally change the way we do business. We need to harness that technology. So they acquired Securrency not as the only technology, but as a foundation, especially a foundation for how you do regulated assets, on which we could blend together the other technologies, distributed ledgers, smart contract frameworks, tokenization frameworks, to create a coherent marketplace. So they were forward-leaning in that model. As I mentioned to you, the one right to win that DTCC has in this model is we are the record keeper for quadrillions of dollars of transactions, but for fundamentally assets under record, approximately $100 trillion worth of assets. So unilaterally, without the need to engage anyone else, we can actually make it possible to tokenize $100 trillion worth of value. No one else can do that efficiently. So we have both a right and a responsibility to do that effectively for the financial markets, because it unlocks so much among those things that it unlocks. So we're building out those rails to do that, to make it so that parties can, within seconds, convert any traditional holding into token form to conduct transactions.
Bank XRP trumps crypto czar David Sachs declares at the end of the crypto crackdown, predicting a crypto boom, crypto rocket.
We did repeal Biden's exec order on AI, which was 100 pages of unnecessary regulation on AI. We've ended the war on crypto, and I think we're trying to stop the regulatory capture that benefits large incumbents. So you have all these things, and there's been other things that have been done on the economy as well. But I do think that this sets us up for a Trump boom in the future. It's just that a lot of these changes take time to play out.
Trump pump coming. XRP hidden in plain sight. From DAI, Franklin Templeton, it doesn't have an L1 that can support an ecosystem at scale. Bitcoin's regulatory monopoly is coming to an end. For the first time ever, it'll have to compete on a level playing field. The adults are trying to spell it out in a nice way. Put it on the XRP ledger. Problem solved.
What happens with Bitcoin as an asset? Today, it is 60% of crypto's value is Bitcoin. So what happens with in an era where you have large-scale asset tokenization takes place? What is the role of Bitcoin in that universe?
It's a great question. And I think also your point of institutions moving from an era of proof of concepts, which I think dominated from 2016 through 2019, we have moved on to that, to where today you do see commercial grade products, and Bitcoin as collateral is moving in this direction as well. And so a part of our view internally is Bitcoin has won the first product market fit of crypto, which is as an alternative to fiat stores of value. There's no doubt about this, right? It's the number one market value. It's got the best branding in the world. What doesn't it have around it? It doesn't have an L1 that can support an ecosystem at scale, right? If you own Bitcoin, you need to have a certain amount of value that you're willing to transact in. Otherwise, it doesn't necessarily make sense for you to create that transaction or execute it. And so when we think about Bitcoin as collateral, and certainly as we have conversations with regulated institutions who now own it on behalf of clients, and those clients want the most efficient underlying asset that they can possibly own.
Watch your guru, Justin. President Trump says the crypto market was much stronger than the stock market during the recent crash. It's very popular. It's very hot.
I want crypto. I think crypto is important because if we don't do it, China's going to. And it's new. It's very popular. It's very hot. If you look at the market, when the market went down, that stayed much stronger than other aspects of the market. But I want crypto because a lot of people, millions of people want it. I don't know if you know that Biden went after it violently, and then before the election, he changed his tune entirely. His head of the SEC, everybody changed their tune. You know why? Because there were hundreds of millions of people that are participating in crypto, and they wanted to get their vote.
Ripple XDev Deep Freeze is now live on the XRP ledger. Built for issue tokens only, not XRP. It offers essential controls for regulatory compliance, fraud prevention, sanction enforcement, institutional grade, tokenization, deep freeze. It's now live. Risk XRP Ripple, fake it till you make it, or attack it because it works. And Bitcoin failed.
Can only last so long if there's real social value. It should translate into eventually financial value. And that's sort of some of these L1 tokens might be stuck in in a weird in between because, they produce a lot of social value, but financially it's hard to justify some of these valuations, I would say.
Well, exactly. And I don't think, when I said you have to have at least one of those three, I would say if you just have financial value or you just have utility value, you probably still have some value. If you only have social value, as you said, that's not enough unless it ultimately leads to financial value. But Ripple's a good example, right? XRP is obviously an insanely overvalued asset at 100 and some billion market cap or whatever it is now, right? 131 billion as of right now. But that doesn't, because there is no financial value, there is no utility value, it's 100% just social value. But you can't dismiss what you just said, which is that social value of being one of the oldest cryptocurrencies and having this massive following could one day lead to something that does have financial value. And, I always said, when people say is Ripple worthless? I say, it's not worthless. I can't define what it's worth, but it's not worthless because it's basically just a really, really, really expensive call option on what it could be in the future.
XRP, fake it till you make it. They know what's coming. We know what's coming. And they can't stop it. Smoke Dog, yes, Swift is actively integrating with DLT-based platforms through strategic partnerships.
Engaging with partners throughout our experimentation processes and innovation, it's one of those values that we want to bring to our partner community. And it's included in the frameworks of these partnership programs. One example is, for instance, how we're trying to pilot integrations with companies that offer services built upon underlying DLT-based technologies, and starting, as you mentioned before, in the trade finance and supply chain space, but every day more and more open to evaluate experiments with other companies in other verticals.
We got DCENT wallets. Discover the new Insight tab in DCENT now with powerful market on-chain data at your fingertips. Smarter investing starts with better insights. Explore the full upgrade Insights tab enhancement. Smarter investments with deeper data analytics. Link in the description for your best cold storage wallet for XRP, XLM, XDC, Flare, Songbird. Get yourself the Bagman discount on the single pack. And the double pack, link in the description. DCENT biometric authentication, not your keys, not your crypto. We got one for Mustache. Altcoins USDT dominance is still far from where it belongs, and that is further down. Send BTC and altcoins higher. And take a look at the current altcoin season index, currently floating in Bitcoin season. Look like we may have hit a bottom here for the altcoin season index. Still waiting on alt season to return to a 98, 99. Dark Defender. I shared some notes in expected XRP found resistance at 222 and 236. This played out and we touched 213 yesterday. XRP is getting ready to finish the correction and it's the last bit, but we'll keep an eye on the $2 levels today. We projected the incoming surge with 5 waves indicated below. I'm expecting the initial wave towards $3 and then wave 3 and 5. XRP targets 440, 630 and short-term supports $1.88. With that being said, $22 XRP, very feasible crypto insight.
Around March of 2017, Bitcoin had its first major breakdown in terms of dominance. And we broke down from like, what's showing 97% down to 63%. And that's when XRP really started to take this rip. Look, we say, look, XRP rips it up here as Bitcoin dominance. Really, look, if you can see the lines on the top and the bottom of my screen, you can see XRPs on the top and Bitcoin dominance on the bottom. It really started to rip up as Bitcoin dominance took this fall, and then other altcoins rallied in this area, and Bitcoin dominance then continued to fall. Then what actually we saw is that Bitcoin dominance stopped out here, and XRP price stopped out here, and then XRP spiked up in price, and Bitcoin dominance had that last flush out, okay? That's what I'm looking at right there. So even this flush out of the 40% one that we talked about, that equated to about a 1,100% gain for XRP, 11x. And now people are going to say, yeah, market caps have changed and XRPs, it would mean it goes to whatever billion, trillion dollar market cap. I'm just showing you guys already that those trillions of dollars could very easily already be in the market for us to be able to flow over into XRP to do this 11x gain from where we are now, what, 218, 11x. 218 is not 11x, sorry, 1,100%, or is that 11x? Yeah, it is 11x, sorry. Brings us to like, what, $22. And that's very feasible. It's possible based on market caps. And as long as you think that XRP takes as much dominance as it has previously.
And the longer they take, the higher we keep climbing on that XRP. Rich list. Where will those bags be when that regulation jar of molasses finally breaks open and XRP's true price is finally revealed? Catch you up here on the mothership. I am the XRP bagman, the Moon Commander, BYOB. Bring your own bags, be your own bank, be your own boss. Don't forget to drop an elbow from the top ropes on the likey button. We'll see you at the tippy top. Later, glitches.
Later, glitches.
Can you take me with you when we blow up? Blow up. Can you take me with you when we blow up? Blow up. When we blowin'. When we blowin'. Can you take me with you when we blow up? Blow up. Can you take me with you when we blow